Well, hello there. Welcome to Online People Talking, or OPT, as we like to call it. This series is dedicated to you, the online sales specialist out there, meant to enhance your careers and lives. We've got real life challenges, stories, and solutions just for you. My name is Jen Barkin with Do You Convert, and today I have the honor of a very special guest, my esteemed colleague, Mike Lyon. I'm going to take a few minutes and introduce Mike because he's one of my favorite people. He may not know that, but he's one of my favorite people. If you have been in the new home industry, you have to know who this man is. So he is president of Do You Convert, and we're going to get into a little bit about what is Do You Convert. But I first met Mike back in 2012 when he was speaking with Myers Barnes down in Florida, talking about this online sales program. And I said, holy cow, we need to be doing this for our organization. And from then, it's all history. So some of you may not know this, but Mike was actually my coach.
That's right.
Many weeks ago when I first started out in the business. So I'm so happy he has joined us today for this episode of Opt. So Mike.
Yes, Jen.
So tell everybody, if you've been living under a rock, may not know who Mike Lyon is and what Do You Convert is, tell us a little bit about what Do You Convert does. Why are we unique?
Yeah, it's fun thinking about that. First of all, I remember whenever we were working together, I was much harder back in those days. I was so hard on our online sales specialists. Jen still likes to talk about how bad I was and mean. And
guys, I still get shivers down my spine when my phone rings, because I've got to be so immediate.
That's right.
You drilled it into me.
That's right. No, those are good times. So Do You Convert, if I were to sum it up really for people who aren't familiar exactly with what we do, we partner with builders to implement and improve online sales programs. So that's really what makes us unique, is that we're not just in the coaching and training business for online sales, which, that's a lot of what you've heard from Jen and Opt-in, but we also focus on getting fantastic leads, helping them generate more opportunity from their marketing. And that's something that really sets us apart from a lot of people. We're not just an agency. We're not just a training and consulting company. We do both together. We care about that holistic approach to managing online leads, and that's what Do You Convert does.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we just celebrated a milestone of 10 years, right, as an organization, but you didn't start in the industry then.
No.
It went back before then. So what did you do? What was your first start in the business?
Yeah, you bet. So I've been in the business since 2005, and I started for a builder back when online sales was brand new, so top 100 builder. And then I moved on to another builder as a VP of sales and marketing for a smaller volume builder. And then it was after that I began Do You Convert. And that was 2009, right? I don't know if anybody remembers that. So 2005 and 2006, those were fun, exciting times. If you guys know what I'm talking about, smash a heart button or a comment on that one if you were in the business before the downturn. And then I started the business after the downturn, which a lot of people thought it was crazy. But what we found were that builders were finally in a position and a little bit, I would call desperate. Like they needed to figure out how to build these programs. So, that's when I started Do You Convert.
Yeah. Now, 10 years in business as Do You Convert. How would you say your specific business has changed here?
Well, it started as Mike Lyon consulting and training for Do You Convert, setting up online sales programs. So back then, again, builders, what's an online sales specialist?
Right.
What's a CRM? What's wrong with my website that my cousin built for me? We've had it for 5 years. Do I really need a new one? What's the internet? Is this a fad? That's how it started.
And it was Mike Lyon just by yourself.
That's right.
Talking about online sales and marketing. Because I can remember sitting on calls with you and our marketing team,
right,
and you trying to help with that side as well. So.
Yeah, and a lot of builders, when we would build a successful program, so when we got the Jen Barkin in place and she's converting leads, they're all like, okay, great, how do we get more? And I'd walk them through this stuff, and they go, great, can you help us with that? And I'd say, no, I can't. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough bandwidth. We don't have that. And so it was probably about 7 years ago, like that really just started happening over and over again. And I started trying to figure out a way, how can we build this other side of the business?
Right.
But for me, it was so important to have the right people on the bus as opposed to just, let's just do it. I mean, I felt like that's what makes Do You Convert different is the key people in the roles that are working with the builders every day have been in the roles themselves.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
right.
that gives us a different perspective. And so 5 years ago, Kevin Oakley, we were able to wrangle him over onto the team and build that side of the business, which, and that's where we've seen a transformation, because now more and more builders have the role in place already, but they need help perfecting it, fine-tuning it, but also they need help on the online marketing, the lead generation side. So.
And putting all the parts and pieces together.
Absolutely.
So that's a great transition into what I wanted to talk with you about, why you were on today. So like you said, our business has changed, online sales has changed. And so, it's a great time of year. It's December. You can see our lights are up, right?
That's right.
As we move into 2020, what are some things that we need to be thinking about in online sales specifically?
Well, I mean, that's a big question.
That's a big, broad question. I've got a few questions I'm going to ask you specifically.
Okay. But I like it. I like it because 2020 sounds futuristic, right? And you think about the last 10 years. So I'm gonna roll with this and dissect it a little bit, because when you think about what's changed in 10 years, how we got leads before were like three ways. They would they would fill out a form on our website. They would call us, or maybe we get a realtor lead or a move.com lead, which is now New Home Source, and we get a third party lead. Like, we had three ways that we were getting leads, and we had two ways to communicate: the phone and email.
Yep.
Right. And so when I think of 2020 and go online sales specialists, they'll go, oh my gosh, we've got now people are coming from our website. They're coming from the phone. They're texting us. They're chatting with us, with the chat on the website. They're coming from Facebook. We're getting all these different leads. We've got landing pages. We've got all these third-party listing sources. We've got different styles of leads. We got VIP coming soon. Everything's funneling into one spot, and the ways that we communicate and connect with the customers are shifted. So this role has become so nuanced, and the types of leads that we work in are so nuanced that you can't just rely on old processes. So that's the biggest shift that we've seen.
True. That's so true. You basically had a couple things you were doing: responding to emails, picking up your phone, making phone calls. You had basically one process, like one size fits all, that you were doing with your leads. So putting all the pieces together, online sales and marketing. First question I have for you that, we get a lot and things to think about is, what do online sales specialists specifically how do they need to adapt to this ever-changing world of marketing? I mean, I feel like marketing's always changing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting part. Again, we are always looking for ways to generate leads. And so if you've been in this role for a while, then all of a sudden we get a new style of a lead coming in. What people, what an online sales specialist might do is like, well, this one isn't good, or this one, I don't feel like this is really worth my time, or this isn't working, or no one's responding to me. And so I think that the first thing that you want to do is as you talk and connect with your marketing leader, you need to really get an idea of like, okay, what type of process am I using for this? How are we going to nurture this lead? Is this one sales ready? And instead of getting frustrated that it doesn't convert like your web lead, figure out a different process that could help, help you be more efficient and effective. So just understanding the different types of leads that are coming in, and start spending a little bit of time. Maybe it takes you an hour to two to develop a process that works, but that's going to save you hours and hours every week and month in the future.
Meet with your marketing person. Make sure you're having FaceTime to understand where all of your lead sources are coming from.
That's right.
Okay, so what do you think about chat bots on websites? Do
Well,
we need them? What?
let's back up first and let's talk about chat. So yes, I think it's great to implement chat on your website if it's done the right way. And so chatbot itself, that we'll talk about that here in a second. So here's what I think about chat on a website. I think it's just like having a phone number on a website. If you put a phone number everywhere on your website, all over the place, you're going to get all different types of calls. You're going to get all different types of people trying to reach out, and that may not always be the people that online sales needs to be talking to. So in order to mitigate that and help make it more efficient, we set up call flows, to help a customer get directed to the right place. Okay, because that's someone live wanting to get questions answered, reaching out directly. Chat is really no different than that, except that it's they're typing instead of talking. So if you put chat all over your website and you make that a primary call to action, you're going to get everybody and their brother chatting, right? And so that's where I do think that there's great opportunities for chatbots to help kind of handle that front end of the conversation to make sure they're getting redirected to the right place. If it's a warranty chat, it's kind of the customer self-directing it's them. If it's a vendor reaching out for something, if it's a current customer who needs something. But if it's someone specific and has questions on a community, a home, something they're interested in, yes, I think we should have chat on our website, and I think that should be in. So that's how I really think a chatbot should be used. I think the mistake a lot of builders make is they try and get a chatbot that's going to answer all the questions. And I'm sitting here going, if you got a live customer who wants to talk to someone, you should get a live person. That's what the online sales specialist is for. Don't leave it in the hands of a bot. Get the engagement and jump in there, but help redirect those things that are not, a new lead, a new customer. So yeah, definitely.
I love that. Great advice.
The other thing I'd want to give to everybody who's listening to this right now and thinking about it is just like a phone, when you're off hours, the phone goes to a voicemail. Then it's managed later. You got that happening. You've got people who are going to be chatting all different times. Set the right expectations. So it turns from chat to messaging. I mean, that's really the difference.
Right.
And you've seen tools like this, like Intercom and others, that will say, hey, their average response time is this, and when chat goes dark or when it's after hours, it's kind of setting those expectations that you're just submitting a quick form to somebody. So I definitely, any ways we can generate leads, generate conversations, by all means we want to use it. But if they're engaging, let's engage with real live people.
Right. And the key word is live chat, right? So like you said, you want to make sure if it's on, there's somebody there to actively respond and engage with those people.
Absolutely.
So, hearing a lot of, we've been talking a lot with our online salespeople about this and texting and, should they be incorporating texting? How could they incorporate texting in their follow-up process? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question because we're getting it a lot. And I've even heard, some people say, hey, we need to put this in our process, or we need to set up a specific task for us to text a customer. And I floated this out to a lot of our top performing online sales specialists. I was talking with Astra de Lima. She's an award winner. This conversation has been coming up a couple of times. I said, Astra, do you think it's going to be a good idea to update your process and put in some things that remind you to text people? And she just right away goes, no. I don't want that in there. And I go, well, why not? And she goes, listen, here's the deal. I text with my gut. I just remember her saying this, like, I text with my gut. I text, using intuition. It depends on the lead source. It depends on what the customer's asking. She's looking at the whole picture. Are they opening emails? Are they even, is she leaving voicemails and not getting hold? Where are they at in the process? Right. And I really believe that yes, we should leverage texting because it's another way. If someone's given us permission and a phone number, we should do it. But if you do it too early and too often, you're going to push a customer away. If you do it with the wrong type of lead, they're going to be like, why is this person texting me? Right. But if you get a customer reaching out from a website, Jen, and they ask a specific question and they're giving you their full contact information, there's no reason why the first day after you call them and email them at the end of the day, you can't text the customer too and introduce yourself.
Yeah. And you recently wrote an article about, is voicemail dead?
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, voicemail is not dead, but if you're
Right.
only relying, because, there's a new feature that came out from iPhone where you can silence all your calls and send them straight to
Right.
voicemail. So people are like, I call, but I don't get a hold of anybody. It's like, it's not just about getting them live.
Right.
It's about getting through to that customer. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you're emailing and then you call, leave voicemail, and then you circle around with a text message, depending on where you're at in the process, to say, hey, I just want to let you know I left you a voicemail. If texting's more convenient, just let me know. This is Mike with Best
Right.
Builder Ever. That's what we got to do today. And as long as you're not just
Mm-hmm.
wearing them out and texting them all the time, it's another way that you add those together. We call it like the
Yeah.
three amigos. You got to put all
Yeah.
those things together to cut
Yeah.
through a distracted and busy
Yeah.
world that these customers live in.
The trifecta.
That's right.
We want to engage with them the way they want to be engaged.
Uh-huh.
So,
That's
they
exactly
may
right.
prefer that. So that's
And so
great.
that's where I think when we talk about kind of putting this all little bow on what's changed,
Yeah.
it used to be so much of our work was manual, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
hard. It was step by step. It was one by one. We're pressing buttons. We're reaching out. Now we have all the CRMs. If you got a CRM, that's great.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to automate a tremendous amount of your process. And even though we're getting more leads to this program, even though online salespeople are working more leads than they've ever worked before, they've been able to automate a lot of it. So you can't just sit back and go, I hope people
Yeah.
respond. You have
Right.
to think about different ways to connect. You have to be calling. You have to be leveraging personalized video emails.
Yeah.
You have to be texting customers. That's what you do with the balance of your time. And I think some are still kind of stuck in this weird limbo of, well, I'm good. The process is going. I'm making a couple calls. I feel good. And we got to make sure we
Yeah.
keep pushing and keep thinking of new ways to connect with the customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. That's great. I mean, if you're listening and you still are using the one size fits all follow-up process, guys, you heard what Mike said. I mean, you've got to really think about, you got to understand where your leads are coming from. You got to get with your marketing colleague and really work on specific follow-up processes for those leads.
Right.
Chat is great. Live chat is great. But just like you have call flows and menus set up, you need to think about having menus or chat bot filter, right?
Yeah.
So that you're not fielding every single question coming from those prospects. And then texting.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, do it. Is there anything that anybody needs to be cautious about as far as texting? Are there any like no-nos?
Yeah, I mean, I
Anything to
really
think
think. Well, first of all, you can't do mass texting without permission. We have a whole article.
Right.
We could probably link to that here in the notes if you guys are watching. We'll link to
Right.
that. But honestly, my big thing is put your consumer hat on, and think about what you want, because I forget the stats, but it's more than 70% of customers don't mind if a business texts them,
Right.
but the same majority or higher feels like they're getting too many when they sign up for this. Where businesses think we're not texting enough, customers say they're texting me too much. So you're really looking
Right.
for this happy medium.
Medium.
Don't wear anybody out. That's the big thing.
Right.
But definitely you want to leverage that. If someone hasn't responded or engaged to you and you've texted them 2 times, you've called them 3 times, you sent video emails, and you don't need to keep texting them.
Right.
I mean, that starts to become a waste of your time. Just wait for them to engage back with you. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Now for my favorite part, we're going to
What's
switch
that?
gears and we're going to do a little rapid fire, get to know Mike a little bit more
Okay.
on a personal note. So,
Okay.
first question.
Yes.
What's something about yourself that you could share that most people don't know?
Oh man, I can swallow knives.
No way.
You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Well, there you go.
Seriously?
Yeah, I can swallow knives.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have a knife. I won't demonstrate that one.
I was going to say,
here.
I need proof of this.
Yes, I can swallow knives. Anyway, all right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is your favorite thing?
That's what everybody's going to be chatting about. It's like, Mike, we got
Yeah.
to see this in real life now.
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about what you do?
Oh man. Okay, well, it's a two-parter. One is I love that at Do You Convert and what we've done. We've taken the role of online sales, which was kind of like a throwaway secondary,
Yeah.
maybe that someone can do this, maybe the person at the
Right.
front desk answering phones, like
Right.
it was kind of obscure, and now it's in a place of like, it's a necessity.
Right.
The online sales role is such a place of prominence in sales and marketing. I'm so proud of that, and I'm proud of the people who do it and people watching
Yeah.
this. You guys are like you're the ones doing this because
Yeah.
it's a tough job. So I love that, and I think the second part of that is I love when we get someone who's the right fit, and like they see like the importance and the nuances, and they're just perfectly built for this role,
Yeah.
and they get in here and like start crushing it. That's oof. That's
Isn't
my
that
favorite.
awesome?
That's my favorite part because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, see, it's not easy. Not anybody can
Yeah.
do this, and
Yeah.
so I love that. Yeah.
Gives me goosebumps when that happens.
Uh huh.
What is your biggest challenge?
Oh. Ooh. Okay. Biggest challenge, I think, finding good people. I mean, honestly, if I were to think about it,
Yeah.
like I said, it's so hard to find someone, and we get so excited when that happens. To find
Right.
someone and hire someone and get them trained and get
Yeah.
it's really finding them is the hardest part. Once we find them
Yeah.
and
The
give them a little
recruiting
bit,
and hiring process.
yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest challenge. And to
Challenge.
have builders just go, you got to be patient. You got
Yeah.
to trust the process. Don't jump the gun. Don't shove
rush.
the wrong person into this role. You'll regret it later. So yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the biggest challenges.
How do you, Mike Lyon, prevent burnout? And what's your kind of go-to way to recharge?
I would say breathing, right? Preventing burnout. Probably my favorite way to recharge is with my family. Like, I love my wife so much. We have so much fun. Date nights are like the best thing ever. So first and foremost in my family, like my wife is the thing that just makes
She's
me
your
so.
battery.
Yeah, she's my battery. My kids are also awesome, but also annoying. They can leave sometime soon. You know, we'll be okay. But our kids are phenomenal. So my family helps me recharge. But I am also very, very big, as you know, on mindfulness. So like I have a mindfulness practice for the past golly almost 2 years, and consistently almost every day for at least a year. That has really helped calm
Made a
me
change.
down. And I am a high strung individual,
Yes.
and I think it's helped. Have you noticed a difference, Jen?
I agree. I've noticed a difference
Because
in
we've
you.
been
So
working together
great
for
job.
2.5 years, right? Is that
So three, I'll be starting my fourth year.
what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be starting my fourth year
In
in
February?
February.
Holy crap.
Isn't that crazy?
What? Oh, yes. Wow. Yeah.
I know.
Anyway.
I had that epiphany the other day.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one productivity tool that you use in your business that you cannot live without?
Oh, gosh. Calendly. I mean,
Calendly.
that's like,
Yeah.
I mean, we live our lives. I mean, how many hours do we schedule a month? 40,
Mhm.
50 hours of coaching every single month. We use Calendly, which is a program that allows us to do that. Kevin uses it. I mean, I couldn't.
Yeah.
That's the best productivity app. But here's the fun. This is an old man answer to your question too. I'm telling you, one of my favorite productivity hacks is reminders on my Apple Watch. I'm
Oh,
telling you, when
like
there's
adding reminders
yes,
and then
when
it
I
pops
have
up.
to do something at a certain time, and it's not a calendar event, it's not something that I need to have on my calendar. It's like,
Right.
don't forget to do X, Y, or Z. When I can just say, hey Siri, I don't want to do it. She's going to set something. Hey, what's your face? And I set a reminder, and then it just pops up, and it's like a third brain. It's like a third brain, second
Yeah.
brain. I love it. Anyway, sorry, that's an
That
old.
is pretty, that is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, go back in time
Okay.
to when you were an online sales specialist.
Yes.
Is there a funny story about, a prospect or just this position in general that you could share?
Huh. Oh gosh. Okay, I got one. Well, you guys tell me if it's funny or not. So I was brand new in the role, probably managing leads for 45 days, and we worked with Myers Barnes. Myers Barnes was our sales trainer. He came every single month. It was time for the first training with Myers Barnes. I'm driving over from the office to the hotel where we're going to do this training with the one and only legendary Myers Barnes, and I'm like, oh my
Right.
gosh, we got to go. I get a call from a prospect in the car. So I'm working with this customer. I'm working with, and like I'm in my mind, I'm like, I got to get to this training, but I got someone really good on the phone. This is awesome. And I'm kind of hustling through this, and I say, listen, we are all in a training today, but we can get this set up. Most likely by 3:00, I think we'll be finished, and we can set up that appointment at 4. Can I get back with you? But with that time working, I'm going through this. I'm so excited. I walk in, and I'm like 2 minutes late. And let me tell you something.
Oh,
You don't walk into sales training late with
Right.
Myers-Barnes. He doesn't care who you are. And he starts going through very effectively explaining how late is behavior and all this stuff. And I'm just like sitting down, like, oh, okay. And I'm like, and he's going, and I said, I am so, so sorry. I was setting an appointment for Brian in the car. I apologize. And he goes, oh, you're setting an appointment for Brian? He's like, way to go, man. Good job. He's like, you're the one person who gets a pass if you're setting us. And it was just funny because he was getting on to me, and then he goes, wait, you're setting an appointment? No, you should have started with that. But that was
That's
one of the
awesome.
first times I remember, like, oh gosh, I'm in such big trouble. But hey, if you're setting appointments, that covers.
Yeah, that must have been pretty intimidating walking into that room.
Yeah, absolutely. Woo. Absolutely.
Okay, if you could go back in time again to when you first started as an online sales specialist.
There's a lot of time travel.
I mean, I know that you've just turned 40 and your memory is a little fuzzy, but work with me here.
Okay.
What advice would you give a brand new online salesperson that's just starting out?
Okay.
What advice would you give?
This time travel wearing me out. I really think that the best advice I could give, and this is maybe universal, but specifically to online sales, is don't try and reinvent this stuff. There are people who are in this role now who have gone before you. Mm-hmm. Reach out to them. Don't be shy. Get on the phone. Set up some time. Be respectful of people, but ask other people who've done this before. That's probably the best thing that you can do. You can spend a lot of time trying to, grabbing for stuff in the dark or trying to figure this out. But there are so many things that you can engage with. The content that comes out here that we produce, the people that have done it before, the people who have gone before you. I think that's the biggest piece of advice I can give anybody is reach out to somebody in the industry because we are isolated. Like we're the one online sales specialist for every 12 salespeople. We love talking to people and sharing best practices. So that'd be my advice.
Yeah, especially if you're the only online salesperson in your organization, right? You don't have anybody else to talk to.
That's right.
Okay, as we wrap up, the last burning question is, what is your all-time favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, easy.
I think I know the answer to this.
The best Christmas movie ever. Die Hard. I mean, that's it.
I'm still not convinced that that's really a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Please vote in the comments below. If you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, say yes or no. I need everybody to do this. And also, It's a Wonderful Life is a depressing movie. Okay? It's depressing.
It ends well.
No, it's depressing. We'll talk about that all later. But no, Die Hard is the correct answer. That is our favorite Christmas movie. Jen, I just want to take a second and tell you what a great job you're doing on these interviews. Thank you for bringing them out. I know for the people who are interested about learning more about this role and what we do, you have done a great job of highlighting successful people and even successful programs, what they do. So congratulations. We love it. Thank you for all that you do. I'm telling that to the whole public. If you love Jen, let her know in the comments. We always like to do that. All right, so how do you wrap these things up? What do you say at the end?
I say to my guest, thank you, Mike Lyon, for being a guest on Opt. It was a pleasure having you on. You had great words of wisdom, and we all got to know you a little bit better. So thank you for sharing with us. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of Opt. We have tons, like Mike was saying, tons of great content and information on our website at doyouconvert.com. We also have amazing podcasts, Market Proof Marketing out there. And if you are brand new to this role, or if this is a new program for your company, definitely want to check out the Online Sales Academy that Mike and I are doing this spring. There's information about it on our website. You can join the VIP list. So definitely it's a great 2-day live event with 3 months of training afterwards. So it's a really great resource for you if you're just starting out. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Jen.